Hey dreamers, hey YouTube. Um, I am running low on issues and problems that people could be having on dreams. So by all means, if you've got a suggestion or you've got like you want this, can you show me how to do this, and I can do that. Twitter, look me up, Stephen, bunch of numbers. I've got it in one of my previous videos. If I can help you with it, I will. If you're on dreams, don't be shy. Throw me a message. Even if it's a simple, like, dude, I'm stuck. How do you do this? You don't have to watch my streams. I'm more than happy to throw you a message if you're stuck. How do I connect this to? How do I connect an object to my character, or how do I make this object move around the map or something like that? It's like, throw me the message saying, dude, I'm stuck. Any chance I can get tips on how to do this? I will reply, or will try to reply and go, dude, I know exactly what your problem is. Try doing this. I will also then take note of that issue and go, okay, maybe I could do a stream of that. If you would rather me show you on a stream how to do it, throw me a message, dude, I'm stuck. I want to do this. How can I do it? Is there any chance you can stream it? Then at least then I've got, oh yeah, this guy, people need help with this. I'll stream it. But what I might do with this stream is give a quick, how would you call it? A quick overview, or a what I think and what are my hopes for dreams. Like, is it good? Is it bad? What kind of gamer is it for? That sort of stuff. To be honest, on PlayStation right now, it is your best value for money, hands down. So people might say, oh, but graphically it's nowhere near like a Naughty Dog's game or a Call of Duty. It's no, it's not. Graphically, you are not going to get a Fallout 76 graphics or higher. But in saying that, if I get to there, most thumbs up and go. Here's a good example. I think I showed it before. I did. As I was saying, you won't get you won't get Fallout graphics. If I get a Fallout, here's some creations of people making Fallout stuff. That's not Fallout. Why is that Fallout? Either way, okay. So just say you want, we'll go this one here. It's got 306 likes. This is why I say this is by hands down the best value for money. I've literally just done search. I have found a, in brackets, game. Somebody has created said game, this game. What? No, the graphics are not Fallout graphics. But as you can see, it's a Fallout inspired. Let's try another one. Oh, here we go, this one here. This is the one I've played. If I boot it up. Loading relatively quick. Think of it like a Steam library or a library of free games. If you're not a creator. If you're a creator, think of it as a creation suite. So if you like, for example, to create stuff, if you love Minecraft, all that, so if you love that kind of game, then this is perfect for you. If you're more of just a player and not a creator, by all means don't go, oh well, it's a creation suite, I better stay away from it. No. It is still for you. Like, as you can see, the gun, you can clearly see that's a Fallout gun. If I was to be nitpicky, it's skinny, it's a little too narrow. It's not as fat as the 10mm on Fallout. But, like, who cares? I didn't pay anything for this. and one person created it. If I come back out, Robo Killer himself, with obviously he's put thanks in here for they've obviously either done sound effects or models or whatever, but he has created this game all by himself, and it is it is more than passable. All these creations here, like you can click on any of them. So we'll choose one. Actually, I'll cancel out the search and we'll just go. That's got the most thumbs up, but you can watch any of Media Molecule's streams to see that. They've done quite a few streams of that. So I'm not going to do what they've done because like they're poo-poo heads and like they show you all the kiddie stuff. But I want to show you the nit and gritty, like the crap, the in-depth stuff of that this thing can do. Like I think I showed that once too. Like you don't, if you're a creator. Laser swords. Let's have a look at this one. If you're a creator, if you're creative in any way, whether it's making music, making animations, modeling, anything, you will find this beyond satisfying. If you're more of a, I just want something to play, it's good in that aspect as well, because you can literally, you can go, okay, I've got nothing to play, I'll boot up Dreams and do what I'm doing right now. Jump into the thing.
Dad was such a drag. Every day he'd eat the same.
And you can just go, let's see what's out there. You might find some.
There was another family shot to death.
You might find some real gems. Like for example, I found like the Fallout one. I found that. But then there's games that myself like I want to play. Like I want to play a game that's slightly in the future with cars, with a character customization, has mature content that's like a survival game. I want to play that. So I, in brackets, I'm not going to get into it, bought another particular game which I just streamed about, and I did not receive said product. I'm not going to get into it. But I can, fuck that game company. I'll go in Dreams and create it my damn self. No, I cannot. What was it? Oh, notifications. I was checking to see what was new 7 minutes ago. Someone shared something with me. Track and field. Basic game. Okay, do I have to jump? Oh. See, that's not bad. You know what? Have a thumbs up, buddy. Someone put time and effort into that. Like, no, it's not. It's not God rays. It's not 4K textures. It's not a million polygons. That sort of stuff. But do I care? No. If it's entertaining, it plays well, then it's my cup of tea. A lot of these creations, like the stream I done, that one there where I made the foot, all I done was sculpted. I just made a foot. Here's a creation I made that I haven't released. It was just, I love making characters. Mostly I do stylized. I don't do realistic. Purely because, as you can see with this character here, you can see the joins. So I've tried to make it as minimal as possible. This one has really good, what everyone strives for when they're making characters, it's seamless. So you can't see the seams. It's pretty good. It's not realistic in any way, but because you are always going to have, unless you get really lucky, you're always going to have, like as you can, if I eject the thing, around here you can see the seam. Around here you can see a seam. Around there you can see a seam. around the knee, you can see the same. To get rid of them perfectly in this position, when you do that position, they will show. If you get them so that they're not seeable in that position you might get a little bit of poke through and stuff like that. So you've got to get a good balance. And I've found if you try and go for a perfect, realistic sculpt, if you want it to move in any sort of extreme way, it's going to blow the illusion. So maybe not aim for a photorealistic, but aim for more of a stylized. That way you can play into the fact that you're going to have some seams. You might have the occasional, like, I don't know if this one does it or not, a little bit. If you see on the knee, there's a slight bit of, I've tried to make it so that, yeah, the foot around the back here, the back foot, you can clearly see there's a gap there. There's a joint. I could sculpt the curve there, make it so it blends in nice and perfect. I could spend all the time doing that. In some of my creations, I have done that. But do you have to? No. If you aim for a stylized look, ignore those things. They are adult stuff. This one here is a good example. It's the exact same puppet, but I've given... The foot's are more of a foot shape than the other one a little bit. There's no toes, no nothing. Because it's hiding in the grass half the time. It has, I believe that, for light up so you can see in the dark. It has the crouching and all that. It's quite an entertaining thing to play with. But there are seams, like you can see the seams around near the hands and stuff. I've tried to hide it as much as possible. Let's see if I can find one that's an even better example. That isn't gonna be getting, oh my god, age restricted. Because a lot of my creations, because me being artistic, a lot of my creations are anatomically correct. Like I'm not gonna make a male character and not give him at least a package bulge, because I'm sorry, men have that. Same with women. Like I'm not gonna make a female character and not give her breast bumps. Oh yeah, that one's not a bad one to show. Almost every one of my creations that I release are a fresh build. I very rarely do I, like, for example, get this one and reuse it. But you can clearly see the seams, but I've tried to hide it with like the paintwork around the hips. The feet are hidden in like shrubs. The feet are actually shrubs. There are no feet there. Same with the hands. There are no hands. The branches, I've tried to make so the branches look like it's a branch that moves. It kind of hides the fact that the puppet is made up of segments, because the way the program works is it cannot make a bending product, bending item. But a good example here is my hot dog. If I go into edit, I have made the wiener, or the hot dog. It's a physical product. And then there's the bun, which I sculpted the bun like that, and then I just cut it in half. And then it's hinged. Like if I bring up the X-ray vision, you can see here, there's a hinge here, which tells the hot dog it's got two hinges because each side is separate. And then it's got an invisible, like if I go to here, it's got an invisible thing here. I can explain why I did it this way, but it's basically this one you cannot normally see is its artificial hitbox, so that it will favor landing upright. And these will hinge. So if I go to play mode, it does that. And as you see, the hot dog actually goes through the bun, because the bun itself doesn't necessarily collide. It's an uncollidable object. But the bit you couldn't see has a collision. It's to put it blunt, it causes less issues when interacting with stuff. The hot dog itself, the side with the chip, controls how floppy, how springy, and all sorts of stuff. So if I open it up and show you, you can see in here, there's the whole thing. So if I turn around and go, just say if I turn that down and then go, I'll leave it as is like that. See how it moved? That means if I turn them all off and I grab this end, it has no spring right now. It is literally it's limp. So whatever you do, it's sort of like a hose or something like that. If you turn them up, alright. So if I come into here and turn that one up to, we'll go 100% or a 1, and then back to there. Oh no, oh yeah, leave it like that, and then grab it. It doesn't move it. There's no floppiness at all. It's stiff. And same with if you where are we? There. If you want it to be, we'll say what it was, 7 or 6. It doesn't matter. So it's got the floppiness to it, but you want it to be, instead of it a flop like a full like all the way around, you only want it to flop a little bit. You can turn this down and turn the degrees down a little bit. As you, we'll turn it to like just say a 2. So I can now grab this. It's floppy, but only a little bit. So if you're using it as like its intended for, purpose was for the ammo. I was going to make the grain stands, how you get the hot doggers, that you can buy hot dogs and popcorn from. I was going to make it so that the character would it'd be like a mini game where you'd put like a bunch of buckets or something like that, and it'll just shoot them off and try and score goals. I've never gotten around to it. So if you want to see that in a stream, let me know. So yeah, if you're wondering how I've done that, if I return it to there, wait, what? Where'd it go? Was it? Okay, I'll back out. Do not save. We'll go in and edit it. So again, so for what was I saying? Oh yeah, showing you how it was done. What I've done is, if I turn the X-rays on, there's all these little connectors, joins, what do you want to call them? So if I scope in, see how this segment here is sharp, and then as you can see, there's if I back out one, we'll turn the X-rays back off again so you can see. I'll turn that off so you can. As you can see, there's a join right there. If you come further down, there's a join right there. When it's straight, you don't really notice it, but because I've made the curves kind of right, as they move, it's still relatively seamless. But with this, if I go to that, we'll turn them on, but turn that off. If I open up, for example, this last connector, as you can see, when I'm not hovering over it, it's 0, 60%, and 90%, 90 degrees down here. If you look there, that's the 6. If I move that up, that one changes to 70%, 80%. So what I've done is just every single one of these is connected to each other. And these numbers here, these switches here, all correspond with switches in there. So for example, if you don't want to be restricted by its limitations, which is that switch there, you can flick this switch off. And it will make it now, it can literally spin around on itself. There are no, it's not going to stop at 90 degrees or whatever. It will literally go to whatever degrees it wants. It will literally be like a snake. Actually, no more than a snake, because a snake can't do like a 180 on itself. So that's how I've done that. If someone uses this creation, obviously there are precautions I would say for them to take. I've made this at a large scale. Normally I say to people, do not do this. But in this case, I've done it because I was working on how can I get these to interact with each other properly before I scale it down. When you scale it down, my the suggestion would be to come into each segment, or you can select them all and do them all at once, is you go to the, oops, wrong one, into here, and see how it's got like squishiness, friction, density, all this stuff. Adjust that to points where it's usable. So like friction, you could turn that right up or you could turn it right down. Squishiness, I would turn that off if you're scaling it down. And same with density, turn that to 0. Because I'll show you is if you just scale it down, if I grab it for example, we'll clone it, and then we'll just scale it down. We'll say 25, and then we play. It falls, unlike that one where it felt like, oh yeah, it could be a proper hot dog, that felt like it was a brick. So if I return it and then play again, see how it's like, boom, there's no bounce to it, it's no hot dog feel to it. That's why I would suggest to adjust. So you'd come in, for example, and go scope in. If you want to know how to do all this, my other streams do show you, but double tap, it selects all of them. Left L1 and square. Bring this up. I'm going to turn that up to about 50% and turn density down. I'm going to turn it down to a 0.5. Ideally, I would have it at 0, but I'll leave it at 0.5. And then we'll back out and I'll play it again. It feels a little bit more hot doggy. It still feels like a brick though. That is why I say when you're there, go into it, grab the double tap, open up that, go to density, turn density to 0. So it has sorry about that. So it has no density. It's basically a feather or a balloon. Like there's no density to it. Technically, a balloon has a little bit of density, but whatever. And then if I play, it feels a lot more hot doggy. Same with the squishiness. I'll keep going there. I don't have to go to there. Go there. If you want it to be more of a soggy hot dog. So a soggy hot dog would definitely do more of a bounciness. So we'll go more of a bounciness. No, squashiness. Wrong one. Squashiness will stay. Bounciness, turn that up. We'll say 25%. So the way that works is 25% of its impact is how much it will bounce back at. So physicians or all those mathematicians and all stuff, they can figure it out if they want. Don't go into there, just go to play. I didn't really notice it, but trust me, it bounces. Do that. It's because the big one keeps getting in the way. Okay, fine. If you keep bouncing that way, I'll grab this one and move it this way. The reason that's happening is because looking at it, the right-hand side is its parent. And as you go that way, it's like a tail. That's the end of the tail. So I can drop it. That definitely felt pretty hot doggy. So you could use that quite easily. The current test build I have is this character here. The puppet itself, I've showed this before, the puppet itself isn't my creation. The skirt is, but everything else, the skirt and the hot dogs are my creation. Everything else is media molecules. But pulling the right trigger, throw the hot dog. And as you can see, the wiener drops pretty quick, and then the bun shoots off pretty far because the bun is light bread, whereas the hot dog is a limp bit of meat. So I could adjust like its density and make that fly further. All I've done with that is if I rewind and go to edit and then go to that one. There is the wiener or the hot dog. There's the character, and if I go to inside the character, here, and where did I put it? I think in there. Nope. Fire. Ah, it's probably in there. Okay. Oh, yeah, there. Emitter. So if I click on the emitter, what I've told the emitter to do is, as you can see that dotted line, the emitter's target, which is that, is flashing green. So it is to emit that at that location in that direction. So technically she's not throwing it, it is emitted. It is spawned in and thrown in that direction. So if you wanted to throw it harder, you can just up this. If you want to throw it softer, like go hard anywhere, you turn that down. Same with if you wanted to better throw more than one at a time, you could just go continuous. And if you look, I've just grabbed the thing and I've scaled it down to that size. So I can edit this one and tell this one to be less dense, and when it shoots off, it will fly further. So if I grab it, come into here and go boom, double tap, no, one more, double tap, come into here. See how the density is at 5%? I'm going to turn that to 0. And the squishiness, I'm going to turn the squishiness down a little bit and turn the bounciness up. And leave it at that. And now if I make her throw, it will throw a copy of that. So if I get her and go throw, it doesn't look much different, but it feels more like that bread roll came out fairly good, and the hot dog less, it was more of a, like a glide. Again, I could turn the emitter up and have her throw it like 1,000,000 miles an hour. So if I come into here and go, instead of going 3 meters a second, we'll say 5 meters a second. And you can come in, go like this, and you can throw it. And she'll, boom. And like, it's gone almost twice as far. Same with the angle. You can come in and adjust the angle. Where are we? Rewind. So just say I don't want to throw it straight. I want to throw it up. If I can grab, turn this on, and I'll turn it up. So it's going to be up 45-ish degrees. Now if I tell it to throw, it's gone like God knows where. The hot dog is in 2 separate pieces, as the previous creation shows. If I don't want them to separate, I can always just come into the base object that it's emitting, and I can make it so that, for example, if I go that, tell it not to be movable. Okay, well that done the opposite of what I was expecting. It just dropped. What have I done? Oh, okay, oops. Okay. Yeah, because, okay, I'm with you. Same with, no audio, go in one. So there you can adjust, no, one more. You can adjust how they interact, like each side of the button. So each side of the button here it's movable. So you can tell it like how movable that is. So if I want this to form more like the dog does, I can just turn around and grab each one of these and tell it that its density, we'll turn that up a bit, we'll go to 1.0. And then in theory, if I now throw it, of course I've got to adjust it, don't I? I've got to turn that down again. Emitter. Turn you back down to, say, a 2, so it's a little bit slower. And we'll angle you straighter. Closer to that. So now when she throws it, the roll, the bun is now more dense. And obviously I can keep jacking it, and I can make it so that when I throw it, it just drops like a brick by turning the density right up. So if I come in, for example, turn it back, come into here and we'll grab both of those, Let's grab the densities. No, there. And we'll say 100% density. So that is concrete, basically. Now when I throw, it goes hardly anywhere because it's so heavy. It's the same with the hot dog. You can turn the hot dog's density up and have it drop quicker. In theory, if you make it, I can try it, because if you turn the density of the hot dog up, it should stick to the bun for longer. So it should be more of a, do that. We'll turn its density up. Because they're all highlighted, this change will affect all the pieces. So it should be a heavier hot dog bun, a hot dog sausage, sticking to the bread roll better when you throw it. So let's see. It didn't make much of a difference, but you could see there's a slight difference. It's all tweaking. Again, saving none of that. Okay, here's a good creation to show you. How I was talking about with the seams. The basic puppet, you can eat. Actually, I'll spawn one in so you can see if I exit. Go remix and grab a basic puppet. Okay. So as you can see, there's a male and a female version of the one I made. There's the basic one. See how pronounced the joins are on the basic puppet, whereas the remade I done, which is just sculpting. I haven't changed any mechanics. Especially around the hip and the knees and the elbows, there's a lot less joinage. The midsection, it's if I exit that join, and that join are probably the hardest ones to get to work. Because of the way the puppets move, when you do the whole that, or that, as you can see all the poke through there? That's a lot of poke through. But because the puppets are meant to be used, these particular puppets, you're only meant to go like that much, or that much. You're not meant to go like heaps. Like, you're not meant to go like that. The front part one, the belly part, how it's, I forget the side so you can see it better. All that poke through there, I allowed that because it's like, you're not going to be bending your character that much during general use. But during a lot of my testing, I will set up a pose. So for example, if I go back, go to edit. This is my tip to anyone. If you're doing a character creation like this, and you're doing sculpting, get yourself a keyframe, throw a keyframe in the puppet, and then just grab all the joints you're planning on using. So, and just do extreme bends. It doesn't have to be what a character would normally, for example, like your character physically wouldn't be able to do that in real life. That doesn't matter. It's just do extreme bends. So you do like a pose, for example. You do that pose, save it, and then you have this turned on, so it's permanently on. Then, because the puppets use a mirroring system when you're creating, you can just literally come into here and grab your whatever sculpt you're using. My favorite is a egg-ish shape with a little bit of blend. That is my favorite use. Scale it, place it. You can then go like, okay, let's place that to say there. And you can look, is that correct? Kinda is, kinda isn't. Like, no arm looks like that, but a little bit like that, and a little bit like that. Okay, and you can see from that side, you can go in a little bit to about there. And grab this one, do the same. I'm just going to show you with one joint. And it's not even going to be a proper joint, it's just going to be just so you can see. Just so you get the idea of what to do. Go like that. Now that joint, put back out of the sculpting, that joint looks fairly good. And then because the other one is left straight, I can come around to this side and go, okay. And even straight, it doesn't look half bad. Then I can come into here, turn the pose off, and then test it. So I can now grab that, think of it as like a puffy jacket or something like that. So as you're running, it all looks like a puffy jacket. That is my best tip for if you want to create a what they are calling in the game or program seamless. Um, I do have some puppets that are more seamless than others. So for example, if I find, I can do a search for it. This one. It's obviously meant to be low poly. It's think old Minecraft or something like that. There's next to like if you're using polygons, it's what you do at the lowest budget. So the joints aren't exactly like the cleanest joints, but that's the styling. But then you've got other creations that are like, that's a good example, but it's, fucking, you can see it can be a male or a female and it's got auto jump and run. This particular character is relatively, like as you can see it along the chest there, around the shoulders, so I'm going to go this a little bit, around the knees, you can see a slight joint, but it's relatively joint free. It's relatively seamless. It has button presses and sliders so you can change male, female, auto jump, auto run, so you can turn all that on and off. But again, as you can see with the icon, it's a private creation. Just above the bit that's highlighted, I can't get the cursor on it without it highlighting. It's a private creation. It is not released because they frown upon anatomically, how dare you give a girl boobs or a boy, a package? How dare you? So it's like, I don't release them, but if somebody wants to use it, I'm more than happy to create like on there, she's got her boobs out. I'm more than happy to create a light version. There's a package set. There's more package sets. I have a fair amount of, this one here is, for example, is a private creation. So I can create a creation from this to be shared with other people. But that is a male package, male anatomic gadget. It's so that if you want to make a male character and have a dynamic package, so it's a man in the bush. If you're making like a bush person or something like that, and you want his thing to be flying around in the wind, that's a thing you can stick in it. I have one that's got breasts in it as well and stuff like that. Um, there's a box with some dynamic. So when it's a dynamic box, it'll drop out of the sky, and then the flaps they dynamically move a little bit. This is a creation I recently done. It's a two-player single controller thing. Whatever puppet you possess is the main puppet. But the blue one is the left stick and the red one is the right stick. So I'm controlling both puppets. However, the one I possess, which is the blue one, can jump. If I want to make the other one better jump, I have to exit that puppet and go into the red one. It's still the same sticks control each other, but now the red one can jump. And the way it also works is because they're sharing the same controller, whichever one is possessed, the camera will focus on that. So you cannot control the camera at all. So if the blue one goes off screen, the only way I can get it back on screen is either by moving in the right direction or moving the red one to it. But it's more for a game, just say you got two buttons. You can go, okay, teamwork, it takes two, the new game. Stand on a pad each. It's that kind of thing. What else have we got? The head sculpt there, I've showed that. The building I've shown. My eyes I've shown, that I've shown. There's some thingy. Again, most of mine are anatomically correct, so if I was to show it, it'd be like, it'll have boobs, breasts, and that sort of stuff. So that's why I don't release them. that one there, useful parts, that's got some breasts, some packages, some hands, all usable add-on stuff. There's a package. There's another one that's a full puppet that has attachable and detachable pieces that are dynamic, so it's a breast and stuff like that. Another thing too is most of my creations I try to make. So for example, like that one there, that's only female. But in that regard, you can literally just remove the breasts in sculpting and make it a male. But most of my puppets, like that for example, have a switch or a button combination press you can do to either remove the breasts, put the breasts on, some of the packages and stuff like that. And if they've got clothing, then obviously if you take the clothing off, for example, if it's a male character and it's got clothing on, it'll hide the package while the clothing is on, but when you remove the clothing, the package will turn back up again. But if you turn the package off, then when the clothing is on, it's off. When you take the clothing off, the package obviously doesn't show back up again because it remembers that, okay, yeah, it had no package, don't show it. Oh, yeah, they had a package, it got to show it, that kind of thing. Because I don't feel when I create something that I should create it purely for one specific thing. So, for example, like this one was created for one specific thing. It's meant to be Oscar out of Evangelion, but it's a chibi, cute version. So this literally doesn't have the whole like, switching body parts because it's only one character. But normally I would make it so if I want to make a male character, turn the male parts on. If I want to make a female, turn the female parts on. But they dislike that. Because, oh, what about the children? Instead of giving us a switch to go, for example, when we release it in here, to go make it, for example, mature content, not showable for children, instead of giving us a switch like that, they've just gone, okay, anything that shows any sort of maturity, straight off the bat. Okay, there's someone's commenting that how amazing. I'll reply to him. Okay, punctuation. Okay, and post. Yeah, so as I was saying, like if you watch my streams or you jump on the dreams, throw me a message like this guy has done. He threw me a message. I've replied to him. He's obviously just said my puppets are amazing. So I've said no worries, thanks. If you need a hand, let me know. Yeah, so for example, a good example is like that character there. Its base character is that one there. As you can see, up and down toggles genders. Tapping up on the D-pad turns the breasts on and off. Tapping down on the D-pad turns the male parts on and off. They're all, they're not detailed in any way. It's a ball or a cylinder or whatever. It's nothing like, I'm not sculpting veins and hairs and pimples or anything like that. It's none of that sort of detail. But if, for example, somebody wants to use this puppet, this particular one, I wouldn't necessarily have to take anything away because there's literally like, it's just the shapes. They can literally then sculpt onto it the shapes they want. If I open it up and go view, this particular one, like if you look on the backside's dynamic. It's got jiggly butt. The breasts are jiggly. The mouth moves when I talk, or use the trigger. The eyes, when I look, up and down, left and right on the deep, up and down, still so as well. The eyes move up and down. So it's, I want to say a pre-rigged or pre-set up puppet. It's basically ready to go. But if you want to come into it, for example, back out and go that, and if you want to sculpt more detail onto something, by all means, go for it, because all my creations that I release, if they're a public creation, they are free to use whichever way you see fit. If I have a creation, like I have a creation. Actually, if I go there, where are we? Collections. Okay, here we go. Here, this one here. Most of these ones down the middle, like for example that one and that one, have. I'll open this up. This one here's a fairly. It's not quite the complete product, but it's a fairly long thing. I think I may have shown this puppet before, but she's a personal puppet that I made for myself, but I thought people might like to have a look at. She's got the dynamic skirt. Her top is slightly dynamic, but as you can see, you can see the joint where it could jiggle a little bit. Her eyes, when you look left and right, they do look left and right. She doesn't have the look up and down, but as you can see when I'm talking, her mouth moves. To give you an upskirt, her underwear, it changes color every time you possess the puppet. So it's a randomizer. She is 50% anatomically correct. So she has the anatomical parts there, but they're hints. It's not, again, like I was saying, it's not. I haven't sculpted all the veins and stuff like that. So like in the torso area, actually, do I have? If I back out, go back in, I can find. I'll find it. I have one in here that is. Oh, there she is. Oh, you can't quite see it, but if you look down here, there is. I've sculpted some veins because that area there, you can usually see the vein because it's the least. It's the spot where you get the least amount of fat buildup. It's, as you can see, like the collarbones. It's anatomically correct. It's 100%. All the body parts that are supposed to be on a human being are on this human being. So yeah, that kind of creation I do not release. And if I do release a version of it, it's usually like a censored or a altered version of it, so that you can have a look at it. So like that previous creation that I was showing before, there is a version I released early, like when she was like really early in the creation. She was basically complete body-wise, but the version people can play, because I hadn't done her outfit or hadn't completed her outfit, it was work in progress. When you took her clothes off, she had little band-aids over the body parts. And because it wasn't a public release, you can only play the character, you couldn't create with it. There's no way for you to. I can remove them because it's my creation. Yeah, there's all that's the version that they can play as. See, there's the 1.4 pre, so that's slightly further along than this one. There's a 1.2, so that one there is before that one. And if I come this way, there's another version. There's one while I was testing it. And there's the earliest version, which I've no longer got released, but that one you can actually take its clothes off, but it's got band-aids on. There's the dynamic skirt. So yeah, you get the idea. Like that one there is the Dara's which I think I've shown it before, is probably the most realistic I've gone in body types. And if I open it up and let you have a look, as you can see, you can still see the seams, but it's fairly, the joints are fairly seamless. If someone wanted to say they wanted to make a more of a realistic looking character, my suggestion out of my creations would be Dara. It's still got a little bit of the influence of the anime style I like to make, but it's more of a realistic one. And if you look at the two here, the pink and the blue, this one I didn't do, like, it's got no dynamic parts to it, so there's no jiggly butt or the breasts aren't dynamic and all that. It's actually got a bump on the chest for the female and more of a package bulge for the male. And this white one is a neutral. So if you don't want it to be a male or a female, or you want to add your own stuff to it, you use the white one. If you want to make a male character, but you just want to add details like if I jump in on Shay's, just say you want to make the male have shorts. What you can do is just grab the legs and grab, say, this one. We'll turn it down to about there. Move it in. Move it down to, say, about there. Then just align it so it fits right. Then we'll grab here. We'll grab this. We'll turn mirror on. Actually, we'll use a circle. Scale it down. We'll turn it up to there. Add a bit of blend. And we'll just add a lump about there somewhere. Again, do some minor adjusting. Okay, and then what you do is you come in and you get the paint, like turn the bucket off and the rainbow on, which will make it so that the pieces are not painted, are not filled, or how would you call it? It's not a solid color, it's whatever you paint on it. And then you can turn around and say, right, skin color is that. We'll use a square. Paint it roughly the right spot. We'll go the same with the top, the waist. Get to about there somewhere. And then we'll say we want yellow shorts. You'd go there, you go up to roughly what that would be. Go down to the shorts and you go roughly what that would be. Okay. Now, if you look at that, it has a pair of shorts on. That is why this character is set up the way it's set up. Obviously, you can see like I haven't lined up the paintwork properly like that. But if you wanted to go whole hog, you can sit there and detail and go, okay, you've got to brush in the paintwork and stuff like that. Go for it. It's all ready to go. It's more of a realistic. Like even if you look at the feet, they're not high detailed, but they're toes. Some of my creations have actual toes. Like that one there's got actual toes-ish. But because that's me being an artist and knowing about optimizations and stuff like that, unless you've got a foot fetish, you're not going to be eyeing off the feet. So most of my puppets, like if I grab this one for example, and go in so you can see it, it's literally just got the basic foot. Or if I go to there and choose, I've got one in here, where is it? Oh yeah, this one's a good, I'll go this one because as you can see here, actually if I go view, as you can see the feet are sort of feet shaped, but there are no toes because you're not going to be looking that closely at it. When you're walking around wondering if you're going to hit that ledge correct or whatever, you're not going to be looking, oh hang on, the toes aren't right. but then like that character there, or these ones here, as you can see, they don't have toes. Um, that one there is one I just recently created. Again, that one is, I believe, like a halfway anatomically correct. So it's got the shape of the breast and the shape of the package, but it's no details. It's literally just a piece there. The one that is released is this. So if you want to view it and play around with it, this is the one you can view. The original creation doesn't have underwear. I made underwear specifically for this release. And as you can see, it doesn't have toes. It's kind of a foot-shaped shape, but that's about it. Um, the suit slowly rotates in color, and the head, it's a base shape of a head, but it isn't sculpted to be a full head. So that if you want to use your own head, you can put your own head on there. If you want to sculpt your own head out of it, it's a starting point. So if I was to, for example, if you wanted this character, I would come into here and I would get a remix, and I would remix it so you can use it. So for example, if to just quickly show you this, if you just wanted to place a head on that, you could just say go head. There's a head, not my head, a random person's head. So just say this was your sculpt, the head I just grabbed. Excuse me. If I want to place it on this puppet, the easiest way to do it and the safest way to do it is scale it to about right. Use, obviously the white shape is so you can scale it properly. Center it roughly. Yeah, close enough. Turn on that one and then grab it and then keep zooming in until it is the white part there and the head is attached. Then you can go to there and you can adjust. So come down, back a little bit. Say about there. Turn the eyes visibility off so I can see my own eyes. And then my suggestion is use this sculpt as hair. But while you're in that one, make sure that that is off and all these are off. That will prevent any sort of freak out. And then I would grab this section and grab a circle and align it to the front and just take it down to the hair is roughly where you want the hairline to be. So there somewhere. So now you can use that by sculpting onto that to make it hair. And if I back all the way out, I can now have that character and it's got a head on it. That is why the head is the way it is. Obviously, if you wanted to sculpt it to your own head, I'm not going to stop you. Sculpting it to your own head, as you can see, get back to there. The overall shape and positioning is roughly. So don't go, okay, I can't move the eyes. If you want to move the eyes, move the eyes. Like, I'm not going to tell you how to make the character. You can zoom in, you can move it like right down here if you want. But if you do that, just remember when you go in, move the eye sockets down as well. The reasoning for the thing is, again, I like my anime and stuff like that, so it's more of a cross between a realistic head shape and an anime style head shape. If you're going to go realistic, my suggestions would be add a lot more of, get that shape, bit of blend. Again, I like more of an egg shape rather than a circle, and just place like cheekbones, chin, eyebrows, go like that, and then just while it's, and that's it, just move it back till it's like, till it feels like it's about right. Cheeks in, chin in. That. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. And then from there you'd go, okay, we need a nose. So easiest way I do it is use the triangle, the cones, or this shape. If using this shape, go to it such that and narrow it that way. Turn it that way, and put some blend on. Then obviously just when it's lined straight, just adjust its angle a bit. Go to say there, place it, and then scale it until it's about the right size. And then grab some circles. This is the easiest way I found to do a semi-realistic nose. A little bit of blend. Place it roughly where your nostrils would be, and then push it back. You could also, to round off the tip, you could also grab the same shape, shrink it down, and place it right at the tip of the nose. It's still too big. Yeah, kind of looks right. No, that's going to come forward down a little bit. Need a bit less of that. So that, then move it back. You get the idea. A few minutes, it's looking a little bit more head-shaped. Again, the eyes, I would push them back into the skull. And then with these particular eyes, they're already they're alive eyes, so they're ready to go. I would grab the head sculpt, excuse me, and go, while on the circle, go half circle and then add a heap of hollowness to it. So as you can see, they're like a hollow circle. And then just place them roughly in the center. Oops. Scale them up to about the same size, take them back into the skull, and then align them. The way you got to align them, ideally, again, I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but ideally, is you want it to be scaled and positioned roughly in line with the eyelid that's already on there, and then move it up and angle it just a little bit. That is the ideal positioning. And obviously you do the same with the bottom, so instead of grabbing a whole new piece, you just clone it and rotate it. And move it back into the skull. And the same with the bottom. You'd line it up roughly with the eyelid. Then you'd move it forward a little bit, down a little bit, then maybe angle it a little bit. So now when you start moving around, okay, I'm going to turn the head bulb down. Easiest way to turn the head bulb down, just disconnect that. And then if I turn it to there, it's gone to black. If I go to there, it'll change that to 0, or go to that, it'll leave that at 0. And then you just adjust the color to whatever color you want. So if it's skin color, change it to skin color, turn that down. So as you can see, the cheekbone looks a little off, that can be tweaked. The chin looks about right, but looking from the side, it's a little too far back, tweak it. That's how you make a head. This particular body, if anyone wants it, again, if you're on Dreams and you've watched this and you want this particular body, let me know. It's not anatomically correct to any high degree. This particular one, I removed any sort of shaping to suggest that it's anatomically correct. So if you get it, it'll be this version. It'll have the underwear, which you can then obviously reshape, because it's obviously just a sculpt on top of a sculpt. So if you want it to be more of a G-string, you'd come to the thing, you'd grab the side parts, and you'd move it in and back. Or when you're doing this, always take note of how much of the undercarriage there is showing. Of course, if you show too much, it's going to look odd. But that's more of a G-string. Same with the top. You go at the top. If I grab the top, there we are. Can move it up. Can move it out. More of a what do you call that? Standard cut instead of a high cut or all that. It's all up to you how you do it. If you want to make extra stuff for it, like a shirt, and you get stuck, like especially with, like if I show you with, if I go, I think it's in that one, if I go, with this one here, for example, see how she's got the sleeves. If you want to know how to do all of that sort of stuff, or if you're trying to make a pair of shorts, or like with the ponytails, how you can hardly see it, but the ponytails do move that a little bit. Actually, no, this one doesn't, I don't think. Or the mouth opening and closing. I do have a stream showing how to do the mouth opening and closing. The eyes. This particular character has a completely different set of eyes. These are custom made for this character. If you get stuck on those sort of situations and you need tips, let me know. If you've downloaded one of my characters, and for example, trying to think one that's got a lot of, this one here. This isn't my puppet, but I added the rotating camera, the music playing, the spotlight. I added all that in extra. If something in that category, like the computer chip part, if you get stuck, like how do I, if you open it up and you go there, and you go open this up and you go, okay, what does this do? What does that do? Again, just throw me a message. Like if you get stuck like with the eyes, if it's blinking out of sync or the eyes are moving like a bug and like they're moving in different directions. Actually, my bug character does that, so I can show you what I mean. Bug. This character here, I believe. No, this one's sculpted. She doesn't do it. Oh, it's the other one that. Oh, you know what? I'll risk it. I'll risk it. It's the alien character, which I said. Consider this a. Let's see if I can find it. That one there. Right. There's nothing too untoward about it. But if you look at the eyes, ignore the fact it's got a package, but if you look at the eyes, actually if I go into it, rewind, and come in and go play, the eyes move independently. This character I've done it on purpose. But if you're getting that situation happening, and you want to know how to fix it, throw me a message that, dude, I've used your eyes and I've wired up the auto looks and it's doing this and it's freaking me out. How do I fix it? I'll run you through. I can even do a stream showing you how to rewire everything. So yeah, like all my stuff that I release, if you get stuck, let me know. If you see one of my creations that is not public, but you can like test it and stuff like that, like the previous one I showed you that like for example this one, or that one. It's not released publicly, but you can test it. You can play around with it. Actually, that one is. Why is the icon not showing that it... Oh no, that is the wrong icon. See if I can find one. I'm not gonna find one. Because most of the I've only been releasing them if I feel like it's safe to do publicly. But some of them I release that are like you can only play with. You know what I mean. If it's like you can play with it, like, and you like the character, don't go, oh, no one in the world's going to share this with me or anything like that. Throw me a message. Say, look, dude, this particular character, it's cool. Is there any chance I can get a version of it? If it's not a character that I've specifically built for myself and I never intended on like going anything public with it, then I'll probably get, the worst I can do is turn around and say, this is a good example. If you want this, dude, awesome character, can I get a copy of it? This particular one, I will happily make you a version and put you in as a collaborative build on a separate version. And then you can use that collaborative build to build your character. If it's a public character, like say if it's not that icon, but it is that icon, the playable, no, that's playable, not that icon. Sorry, my mistake. That one, or that one there. You can see it easier. If it's that icon, which is remixable, help yourself. I've obviously released it as remixable, so you can remix it. This is a reference to them removing the communities. It's a short bus. It's literally like dumb, like, you know, it's incarnation of special needs, basically. Nothing against special needs people, but it's like, why Sony? Like, why remove that feature but force upon crap we don't want? So I made this and I've put the thing. Where is it? It's a visual display that if you agree with this, the thing that what they're doing is stupid, give it a thumbs up. Obviously, one person agrees. It's either they like short buses, one of the two. That's one of my previous streams I've done. That's a creation I used one of my maps for. So yeah, if you see something that's like not remixable and you like it, don't be ashamed to throw me a message and say, dude, is there any chance? Look at it this way. You got two chances. One, I'll go, yeah, I'll make you a version, I'll share it with you. Or two, I'll go, no, dude, that's a personal creation. Like, I want to keep it for myself. Either way, you've lost nothing. And usually in that situation, if someone does ask that and I don't really want to share that with that particular person or with anyone in particular, I will say, how about I make you a particular character that's similar or something like that, or I'll give you a hand to create one yourself, or I've got a character. A good example is the lady character. Actually, I'll type in lady. This particular character here is a creation. It's a full character. So I've made. Let me give you a quick look. Okay, play. So it's a full character. It's not complete yet. I'm still working on it. She's in an interactive room, so like I can open the windows. I can depossess the character and make it nighttime. It has removable clothing. This light over here is wired up to the switch on the wall, like a dimmer. The bed, the lamp, the chair. the decorations on there, except for the controller, are all media molecule. The cupboard they're in is a modified media molecule creation. The windows, modified creation. The door, I tweaked the settings. So these ones here, you can't normally open these, and you can't normally see through the glass, but I've made it so you can. The door, normally when you walk up, it automatically opens. I made it so that you walk up, you got to press square to open it. The floor in the room itself, I created it. That on the roof, that's literally a street lamp post. If I go to edit mode and come up, you'll see poking through the roof, there's the rest of the light. So that is a full character I've created for myself. I will not share her, but I will turn around and go, well, if she was publicly released, like you could view her but not edit it, and you liked it, and you said, can I? I said, well, no. But if you go into my creations, I'll say, right, there's when you can edit. It's the beginning point. It's the starter point. So it's the base character. It's got the underwear on. It's got the blank, like as you see, the blank face. So all that stuff's there. You can create with it. If you go into edit mode, that camera is a menu camera. And if you come into here, move it out of the way so you can see it. Hide function, use function, HP. There's all the different auto jump, the friend label, the underwear, the top and the bottom, all the stuff switchable. So if you want to take the top off, you can take the top off. I want to take the bottom off, take the bottom off. So for example, if you're making a coat or something that's going to go over and the bra's in the way, you can turn it off. The walk speed, that adjusts, for example, when you're walking, that speed there, it adjusts that. The color adjusts the underwear color, not the skin color. So you can change, with the other character, the one I just showed you, every time I possess her, her underwear changes color. And all I've done is put a randomizer, and every time I enter her, it'll randomly choose one of these points of thingy. The hide and the use, when you press square, she does the use animation. Inside the use function, it has a, if I open it up, it has a tag use. So if you want to, for example, at the door, if you put a detector, I don't think they call it detectors, trigger zone. If you put trigger zone and tell it it's only to detect a tag of, I'll find it, use, it will only trigger, like I can put it right on top of it now, like that, and we'll say, we'll go to the bottom, we'll give it some light, 20% will be good. Okay. So only when use is used will the floor light up. So right now, I can press any button I want, nothing will happen. But if I use, the floor lights up. It's for ease of across levels or games or whatever, you can use the same thing to use. Instead of just going, if it detects a puppet to automatically use, you can make it so you've got to manually activate use. So you don't need a wire, it's just a detection system. It's the same with the hide. I believe hide is triangle? Yeah, triangle. The character does not move when it's on hide. It cannot jump while it's on, oh yes it can. No it can't. It must have jumped just before it hid. Oh, because it jumped before the hide animation finished. Okay, yeah, because the hide animation takes a few seconds. I think it takes like a second and a half or 2 seconds, something like that. Again, if you want to change any of that, you just come into the hide, tweak the animation. The HP, that is related to the camera. I believe it's... No. Which button was it? Circle? Circle. It's, think of like a menu system. So the character strikes the pose, which is on the thing. It gives you the heart saying how much health you've got. So if you lost health, that number won't be 100. It'll be whatever it's down to. And then it gives you a quick description of what buttons do what. So touchpad ejects the imp. L on double jumps. So by default, you can't double jump. But if you hold the left shoulder, you can double jump. That is all in there. So X to jump, circle to help, which is what this is, square to use, and triangle to crouch. Okay, well, that one is publicly usable. So that's lady, but my private version is not. So again, if you see one of my creations, go, oh, that's awesome, but you can't edit it because it's not a public release. Then just throw me a message. Say, dude, I love that puppet. Is there any chance I can get a version of it? What's the worst I'm gonna say? No. Like, dude, sorry, man. I was like, it's my creation. But you never know. I might turn around and go, yeah, cool. I'll make you a version. I'll send it to you. That is what I encourage. Communication and collaboration. I do have an issue with people sending me music. So if you're a creator and you're thinking, oh, I might just throw you some music, like this one here's a perfect example. Not that one. That one. No, not that one. That one. It is literally just music. I won't even listen to it. So unless it's something that I'm specifically interested in, music-wise, the chances of me listening to it is remote. Sharing it with me is pointless. If you share a game with me, like that one, if it piques my interest, I'll give it a whirl. If it's something like a Friday Night at Freddy's thing, it's like the chances of me looking at it's like, nah. But I will not just go straight up and go, yuck. Same with thumbs ups. If you want thumbs ups, best things to do from me to get a thumb up is to either make it, where are we? Make it like here, mixable. Because what I will do is I will come on almost every day without fail. I will jump on the game. I shouldn't call it a game, program. Go into Dream Shaping, do a search. I will go remixable and newest. I will then check along here and see what piques my interest and go, oh, that looks interesting. Let's have a look. If I then like it, I will give it a thumbs up. If I think it's like, this is boring, you're not gonna get a thumbs up. It's like, wow, great loss. But you will get a view, and the amount of views, in my opinion, is better than the amount of thumbs ups you get. Like if I look at any of my creations, go in here, and go playable, for example. 2 thumbs up, 1 thumbs up, 1 thumb up, 2. It doesn't matter. It's like, oh yeah, it's great. I got a thumbs up, but how many people have played it? That's the important thing. If hundreds of people have played it, then that's great because 100 people have seen it. There's no real easy way to see how many people have played it and everything like that. But if you scroll across and look up here, it's only gotten 2 thumb ups, but 7 people have played it 11 times for a total of 7 minutes. So, yes, not great. But it's only new. So if I go to one of my older ones, this one here, scroll across, 6 people, 10 times, 13 minutes. It's, oh, okay, because I used it in a creation. This one is somebody else done some singing, and this is the Dara puppet with a different head and wearing a Scottish in brackets outfit, because it's Celtic or Celtic, however you want to say it. Let's see, let's go further back. That one was fairly popular. It's got 21 likes. But if you look, 48 people have played it, and it's been played 70 times, and it's been played for a total of a little over half an hour. which is not bad. It's been used in 5 creations, but I believe every single one of those creations that it's been used in, I've done because it's only playable. Um, um, so any of these creations, like that one, they're the older ones. That's pre anything past. Okay, there. That's the cutoff. Everything to the right of that was done before this game was fully released. That one there is one of the first ones I started working on after full release. Um, so everything on the left hand side of this, it's all um, full release game versions. So like this one, for example, it's had 1 thumb up, played twice, 16 minutes, 40 minutes of gameplay. Um, I can't be definite whether it's counting the time I've played it, but this is a release for this puppet. There is a light version of it that I've released, but I have not released the one that's got this in brackets superpowers. It's think Mega Man type heroes. So she's got like the double jump. She's got the dance. Um, big power up. It does have options. So if you get touchpad, you can turn the helmet on and off. The light version, it does not have this head underneath. It's literally just the helmet. Same with the skirt. You can turn the skirt off and off, on and off. So if you don't want the skirt on, like it's not even a full skirt. It's more like an armor skirt. It has flashing lights. So if you're epileptic, you can turn it off. This one isn't the best for epileptics because it does have the flash when you jump. L1 and square does the basic attack. But yeah, well that's an hour and a half of me showing you Dream. Again, it doesn't matter the kind of player you are. It's best value when it comes to PlayStation. On the PS4, it is the best value for money. No hands. It's like there is nothing even close. Minecraft is probably close to it, but yeah, it is. If you've got the imagination and the patience, you could probably do it. What I'm going to call it, minute 27, an hour 27. Going to call it. You take it easy, and I will catch you next Thursday for another Dream stream. Stay safe, look after each other, and I will catch you then.